morning, ladies and gentlemen, or hello whenever it is that you are watching this. So there have been a few things that keep coming up since we've reopened. During phase 2, we reopened, being able to show and see places in person. Of course, taking all the health and safety protocols in place, guidelines from the CDC, guidelines from the state. But what I thought was going to be the real estate market, or what I thought it was going to be when we started, I really thought that it was going to reflect the rest of the economy, right? I mean, we only have history to look upon, and we were seeing, trends that, like when there was the recession in 08 and before, in the 2000s and before that, real estate took a major dive, especially in 08, because that was one of the main reasons for the entire collapse of the economy, right? So what we've seen is that home prices remain steady, and in some areas are rising a bit, right? You have other sectors, it goes by price point, location, condition of the home, amenities. Even the block is important. So all these little factors, renovations, so on and so forth. But there are a lot of homes. The luxury market is taking forever, right? Which that's $1 million plus single family. But the regular, 1 to 4 family, in regular price points across Queens, the prices remain stable at certain sectors. Like I said, it's rising, not to the same extent that it was before, but the reason that it's rising is, number one, you have historically low interest rates, which I continue to talk about, because they continue to lower. And the reason that they are lower is, the economy can't handle the increase in interest rates. As I speak to experts in the field, I hear that it's not very likely that there's going to be a massive jump in the interest rate throughout 2020 and moving forward, depending on how long the recovery takes. The next situation is that inventory is still tight. So inventory, I've been talking about it for years on here, and what inventory means, I say that as if you guys are in real estate, but what that means is that homes for sale are still very limited. You might see that there's a lot of for sale signs, or what you perceive to be a lot of for sale signs, but it is still, in many pockets of Queens, very much a seller's market. Okay, one of the factors, or the indicating factors that we look at to see if there is a seller's market or a buyer's market, right, is the absorption rate. And the absorption rate is calculated by the amount of homes on the market and how long, let's say tomorrow there was not a single property listed, how long would that amount of homes on the market take to sell and to get new owners, right? And anything that is calculated to be under 6 months is a buyer's market, right? I'm sorry, it's a seller's market. So anything under 6 months. 6 months is a balanced market, meaning it's kind of the same for buyers and sellers. There's enough inventory, and yet it's still limited enough to keep up with the demand. And then above 6 is where you start skewing towards a buyer's market, right? So it takes 6 months to 6+ months to sell all of the inventory in a particular neighborhood, or in Queens in this case. In Queens right now, overall, remember that real estate is very, very local, meaning we're talking about zip code, we're talking about block, we're talking about area, what the surrounding area is like, the access to transportation, many factors, right? But throughout Queens, on average, we're at 6.5 months of inventory, which means that we're just above a balanced market, heading towards a buyer's market, but we're not there yet. In numbers wise, we're pretty much there, but it's still very close to balanced, right? So what does that mean? The interesting thing that means, again, real estate being local, is that despite interest rates being low, and despite the the absorption rate being so low, there's still not enough homes for people to purchase and to keep up with the demand, especially the pent-up demand of the non-existent spring market. Of course, there were homes sold during quarantine, but it's not, in all honesty, it's obvious that it's not the same as years prior, especially due to all the facts that even little things like things that you wouldn't think about, like the courts being closed. Even if a transaction went perfectly stellar, the inspection came out right, the negotiations were perfect, you're getting all the way to the end just to file paperwork, to look up the previous mortgage, to do a title search. That was delaying everything, and unfortunately that delayed some people enough where then they were furloughed from their job, or they were fired, or what have you, and now they can't qualify. So there was a lot of people that were affected by this, but a lot of those situations have now been fixed. The courts are open. There's certain things that are limited, and things are taking longer, but people are looking to move, and people have gotten their jobs back, and people have moved on to other jobs. Obviously, the economy hasn't completely recovered, nor do we know when that's going to happen. But with the housing market, you have enough of movement where there is pretty much a spring market now, and we're heading into the middle of August, right? So you have that pent-up demand. You have the regular demand for this time of year, where people are scrambling to move before school begins. We had the mixed, the issue on top of that of whether school is going to be virtual or are we going to send kids back and all that. So that creates a bit of uncertainty. So you're having, as things clarify, as more phases happen, as more guidelines are discussed, things are going to be changing. So I will continue to update you guys on a continual basis because of all the changes that will continue to happen, that are happening right now. I mean, today it's Sunday, and I know that tomorrow, for example, there's a new guideline for gyms to reopen. What does that mean? Is David excited? Absolutely. But what does that mean in terms of for gym owners? Are they going to be able to proceed to continue their business? Because every time that a sector of businesses is impacted, that would impact others, right? That will impact the people that make the weights. That will impact the people that make sneakers or lifting gear, so on and so forth, right? So this is another industry that is going to open up. To what level? How will that impact? Will they need new spaces to move into? Will gyms be smaller? Will they need to look for that? So each sector has that kind of stuff, and so we're navigating this with you guys. This is unprecedented in our lifetime, but there are ways to get through this, and guidance is extremely important right now, right? So the guidance that I get is from, of course, public officials, and then you go down the chain of command. You have to my brokerage, my broker, my office manager, the executive staff, colleagues, lenders, preferred partners. We work in a team. Keller Williams is very team oriented, so as new information is passed on, they divulge it, they explain it, they give you ideas on how to navigate problems that they know for a fact will be coming out. So all that knowledge I will be passing on to you guys and to my clients, because it's extremely important. One of the reasons that I got into the business originally was because it's an industry that you need good leadership. You need a good team member to guide you through the entire process, and especially now with a crisis like the one we've had on our hands, with a lot of the uncertainty moving forward, with elections, with all this stuff. There's a lot for us to keep in mind. There's a lot for us to learn. There's a lot for us to think about, and every single person has an individual problem or an individual situation that needs resolution. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to tailor my services to that and to keep you updated on the latest and greatest. All right, so I've gone on for too long. Hope to see you guys soon, and any questions, DM me or hit me up. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys. So real quick, you just saw a clip of the Queens real estate market update, right? And then I posted that on Instagram originally, and I got some requests from several people to give them information about Long Island, specifically Nassau. So I went ahead and did a quick video that you will see right now. So for those of you guys that are looking to buy in Queens, again, the previous video we were talking about the fact that there's 6.5 months of inventory, meaning that it's just being skewed over to a buyer's market, but just over the balance or the number 6, which would be 6 months of inventory, which is a balanced market, right? Let's take a drive down the LIE and let's go to Nassau County. Nassau County is a different beast. So there, instead of the 6.5 months of inventory, you have 2.5 months of inventory. What does that mean? That means the inventory is uber tight in Nassau, right? So you have multiple offer situations. You have the listings that are lasting hours, days, a couple of weeks. It's different than the Queens market, right? And we're talking about as a whole. Now, we have talked about how real estate is extremely local. It goes by pockets, it goes by neighborhoods, it goes by streets, it goes by amenities, it goes by even the block that it's on. So take this as some information to keep in mind when you're searching for a home, whether you're searching for it in Queens or Nassau. You're looking at two different, a tale of two different markets, a tale of two different cities, right? So it's not a matter of, if it's a good market, if it's a bad market. It's a matter of what type of market is it. Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Is it a balanced market? And you have to plan accordingly, because at the end of the day, you're going to be buying or selling based on your needs, right? You're not trying to time the market, right? That's not what you're trying to do. You're not trying to list it when you're all the way at the peak, because you won't know where the lowest point is or the highest point is until you pass it. So just keep that in mind. I just made this quick video about Nassau because I just got a request for Long Island information, so I wanted to fill you guys in.